Hello, everyone. Welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. And today we will be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1034 of One Piece. This chapter was super dope. I know the Sanji fans out there are going to be super hyped for this. My boy pops off. Like I said, I'm more of a Zoro over Sanji guy, but man, I'll be damned if this chapter didn't have me questioning things a little bit. If this is your first time on this channel, I would really love and appreciate if you could like, share, subscribe, help me build, a fan base. Please help me out with the algorithm, all right? It would mean the world to me. Uh, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into this review.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now
All right, everyone. Chapter 1034 of One Piece, Sanji versus Queen. Like I said in my intro, Sanji really popped off this chapter. This is the chapter that I think so many Sanji fans were excited for, or just honestly looking forward to and needed. I know a lot of them were upset when he ran away from Queen last time, and a lot of them were upset with his whole, Germa, Vinsmoke, shenanigans and whatnot. But I really truly believe this chapter is going to put some of that at rest and, just cheer a lot of people up and, really hype Sanji fans. We start off this chapter with the cover. I actually really like the cover art request for this one. It was pretty cool. It's the coolest I've seen Usopp in a while, and he's just chilling. And I guess they're at some kind of fair or carnival, and these kids are being cheated out of whatever the carnival game is. And my boy wearing, I don't even know what kind of mask it is, but it's the same as the mask from the dude in Demon Slayer who fixes their swords for them. He just barely looking goes over and shoots bullseye the target, and like everyone's freaking out like what, how. And so anyway, that was a really cool cover art. So let's get into the chapter, right? So we start the chapter and all of the Onigashima castle is just bathed in flames. There are people screaming and freaking out, and we get to see a little panel or two of the geishas, the prostitutes, trying to flee. There's one in particular, the one we saw earlier, Osome. She's looking for someone or something named Chuji, and so I'll just leave that alone for now because we get into that later. And so the next panel we see is our boy Momonosuke, and he is still trying his darndest to hold up all of Onigashima. It seems like he's given up the whole, try to make clouds, my own clouds idea. And instead, he's like tethered himself to Kaido's clouds, and he's going to try to hold it up himself, which, in my opinion, seems way harder. He's definitely not as strong as Kaido. He barely knows how to fly. I don't see how he is going to be able to maintain this by himself. I'm very excited to see it though, because we all are aware he has to have his own boiling Odin moment, and stopping it from falling. If Kaido gets knocked out by Luffy, his clouds disappear, and Momonosuke needs to use like his own clouds and like to hold it up. Like that would be really cool, right? So we will see, but I just do not see this plan going well. But I admire the kid. He even says that, as long as he's alive, it's not going to fall. So that's either a death flag or, a perseverance flag, depending on how optimistic or pessimistic you are. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little skeptical. I think he's gonna get bailed out, or something's gonna happen that's going to allow him to create his own flame cloud. So I'm excited to learn about that. Now, to get to the dope part of the chapter, Sanji versus Queen. Man, was this a amazing and surprising fight. Broken record time. Cannot wait to see this in the manga. I mean, sorry, the anime. I honestly think that like this entire arc is going to be so glorious in the anime. I'm super hyped that they actually, took the time and the budget to actually crank up Wano's animation. And I truly think that, once we get to the animation, that's where Oda is going to flesh out all of these fights and things happening. Because, like I've said before, it really does seem like he's serious about trying to get this series on pace to finish in several years. I don't think it's 2 or 3 like people are saying. I just think there's way too much to cover. But I do think that moments like this, Oda's just going to decide, F it. I can't flesh things out as much as I want. I'll leave it to the anime, which is honestly a superior medium for fights. Manga for storytelling, and we get every little bit in detail and like translation and whatnot, but nothing touches nothing touches an animated fight ever. Like, for all the things that manga does well and that I love about manga, like nothing exceeds an animated fight. There's some times where I'll just watch animated fights in the series. I don't even watch the rest of the series, just the fights. And I was gonna do something like that with One Piece, but we'll see. Or maybe when it's on One Piece. So anyway, Queen pulls out a huge surprise, and it turns out he is able to use all of the Germa 6-6 abilities. Well, all of the Germa 6-6 abilities minus, for whatever reason, Reiju's, the sister. I don't know if he's being a sexist dickhead, but that was the only one he didn't display. I don't know if it's one of those things that he's saving to surprise Sanji with later. Also, I feel like it would have been the most effective, right? Like the other ones are pretty, physical based attacks, damage attacks. Poison hits you on another level. Also, you would think that as someone named, Queen the Plague, poison might be something he'd love to dabble with, or maybe he feels like his plagues are worse. Which, by the way, anyone else disappointed that like he's Queen the Plague, but the only time we really saw that epithet come to like fruition was during the whole was it were they on the live floor when he was just poisoning everyone and then Chopper healed them? I mean, that was really cool, but I really thought that like more of his fighting style would be based around that. I really thought that he might have a form of like the Oni virus or a different virus that he could use to buff and boost himself. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get more of that, or if that is just the end of the whole Queen the Plague part there. I really personally would like that part to come back. So anyway, we start off with spark what's I don't know the names of all the moves, but we have him do sparking, where he essentially shoots lasers out of his eyes like each G. Then we have the Henry Queen. Basically, like I saw a bunch of comments saying this, and I'm going to say the same thing. This man basically said, "Let me, hey, Judge, let me copy your homework, but I'll change it up a little bit," because he changes the names of the moves slightly just to include Queen. So I think the first one was like Sparking Red or something, right? And so he calls it Sparking Queen. Then we have Henry something or the other. Hold on, what is it called? I have it up here. No, the first one was Sparking Valkyrie. Then we have Henry Blazer, which he changes to Henry Queen, and that's the electric attack of Niji. And then I forget his fourth brother's name, but eventually he uses the winch green attack, which he calls winch queen. And so he is honestly giving Sanji a fight for his life. Sanji is huffing, puffing, getting injured despite the new durability of his body. And Sanji's still able to hold out. He gets annoyed by the mere mention of his siblings and breaks one of Queen's arms, which I'm curious if Queen is able to regenerate or like reattach because he's a cyborg or whatnot. So something Queen is just super eager to tell us, because Queen has been super eager to talk to us this entire time, which is funny. He was super eager to talk to us about everything minus King. So I wonder if there's some kind of agreement established there. But he's basically like, the reason I was so pressed on you putting on the goddamn raid suit was because I wanted to beat Judge's own game. This entire time, it hasn't really been a fight against Sanji for Queen, which he is going to regret shortly. He needs to understand that who he's fighting is Sanji and not Judge, and start preparing aptly. Right now, I think he is sleeping on Sanji. He's not taking him seriously. He's blinded by his jealousy and like rivalry with Judge. And so right now, he's just, all he sees Sanji as is like Judge's little toy, Judge's offspring, Judge's experiment. And what he wants to do is, I guess he has some kind of scientific inferiority complex, maybe out of the three of them, Vegapunk, Judge, and him. He was the worst. He wasn't the best. Only he was only good at like not cyborgs. That was Vega. Maybe diseases and stuff. Who knows? But he seems to be very, very bitter, especially to go through like the whole process of trying to like replicate all, well, not trying, he definitely succeeded in replicating all the powers and abilities of the German 6-6, um just to prove that like his science is better. But how do you prove your science is better by copying someone else's science? I don't know. Maybe his versions are stronger. I'm not gonna lie here. I'm a little bit perturbed, a little bit upset about the fact that I don't want to say easily, but like it does bother me that Queen was able to just kind of recreate the Germa 6-6 powers. In my head canon, they were kind of supposed to be unique. The whole point of the Germa 6-6 kids having them was Judge did this whole experimentation thing, and he created these like really unique, rare, enhanced life forms that hold these powers. I didn't think it was something that you could imbue yourself with after you're born. I thought the whole unique thing about it was that it came from birth. Like he messed with the lineage factor, messed with their genetics while they were being born, and that's how it happened. For Queen to have been able to replicate the powers while being like alive himself kind of bothers me. It kind of takes away the uniqueness of the German 6-6. It kind of makes me wonder about Sanji himself because I thought this whole thing was because of his biology, but maybe something was done to his raid suit to like add those powers, to jumpstart those powers, to give him those powers. Because as we've seen with Queen, apparently it doesn't have to be latent at all. It's something that can be added later. So maybe there is something to Sanji's powers being added later on. I have no clue, but it bothers me a little bit. It gave for a really cool fight. And honestly, you could see at this point that Queen is quite a formidable adversary in this fight. Although it's wrapping up, still won't be easy for him. And honestly, I just feel like we still haven't seen the extent of all of what Queen has to offer. He's always throwing us for a loop, always throwing a surprise, this or that way, right? And so we see his third Germa power, and he turns into stealth black. Sorry, no, fourth Germa power. He turns to stealth black. Sanji's ability, and turns invisible. However, Sanji turns invisible too, or so I thought. I was really, really confused on this because earlier everyone thought that he was moving fast, but then we are like, oh no, he disappeared. Now I thought initially, okay, Sanji disappeared as well, but no, Queen says something to the effect of, he's just moving so fast, my eyes can't follow. And I'm like, huh, interesting. So is that what he was doing before? Is it a combination? Can he actually still turn invisible or not? Or is he just moving fast? Also, what are the ramifications of him moving this fast? Is he able, like, what does this set his base speed at, right? And so while all this is happening, Asome shows up, and basically we find out Queen is a simp. This is his favorite geisha, favorite prostitute, favorite, red district lady. And apparently she's rejected him. She's lied to him and basically said that she wasn't feeling well, she was having a headache. Basically, she hit him with, it's that time of month. But he sees her running around and is like, I don't know, bitch. You look fine to me. And so he says it's time for you to receive another divine punishment. Another, right? I don't know if it's another, but basically he says something that implies that he's doing this. This isn't the first time he's attacked her while invisible. And so that's when Sanji puts two and two together and realizes, wait a minute, it wasn't me that hit her, it was your bitch ass. And then that's when he shows up and decides to use a whole slew of new attacks and moves, bro. Sanji pops the fuck off, and it was dope. Now, something I am a little disappointed about, I was hoping that this was going to be a huge observation haki chapter for him and get into his observation haki, and this was going to be a setup for how Zoro is going to be Shiryu of the Rain, right? Because I figured, all right, he's invisible. How is Sanji going to be able to track him? He's going to be able to sense his life force. And then also, won't Sanji have this exact problem? And how Sanji will solve this problem is he's going to have to learn how to erase his life force, kind of like how Rayleigh did when Luffy was fighting him. Uh, Rayleigh did that thing where he blindfolded Luffy, was attacking him, and Luffy was dodging using observation hockey. But then there was one attack that Luffy could not dodge, and we kind of had to assume that Rayleigh knew some way or form of suppressing his energy, his life force, his will, so that Luffy didn't know about the attack coming. So I was hoping that's where Sanji was gonna go with that, but he didn't. But I still got something super, super cool. Sanji hits this man with the
Voulez-vous bouger avec moi, bitches?
and just obliterates beats the ever loving hell out this man, just naming all these French moves. So he's upgraded Diablo Jambe, what's it called? Devil foot? Yeah, I think devil leg. He upgrades double leg to Ifrit leg, Ifrit Jambe. And it's kind of weird though, because you would think the devil is, stronger than a mythological like fire demon or whatever, or fire spirit. But I watch a lot of anime, and Ifrits have always been OP fire monsters, so I'm just gonna let it go. But he tells him that he's not gonna lose. Basically, he's not the same person he fought on the Life for, and we're seeing Sanji just fully embrace his enhanced abilities. He's like, you know what, whatever, there's no use fighting it. I might as well use it to do what I do best, and that's protect my crew and protect women. He's like, with my new durability, my enhanced strength. Yes, he has enhanced strength. A lot of people were talking about that, thinking it was just durability, and also enhanced speed. He's going to combine them all together to not only make his attack stronger, but to make his flames hotter, because, because his body is tougher, he should be able to handle tougher, higher flames. And so, like I said, he just begins to just speak French and fuck Queen up. And he just hits him with all sorts of attacks. I wasn't originally planning on listing them all, but I think I will now. Hits him with a Collier, hits him with the Basse Cote, Jume ou Bifetek, the Tendrin flank, Q, Pore, Zarate, and then the Boof Burst, which I think is Beef Burst. And he literally just put this man in a body bag. Absolutely put this man in a body bag, bro. I don't know if this is the end of the fight. It very well could be. I mean, I could be satisfied if it was, but there are a handful of things I want to see from Queen. I don't want this fight to end with him just trying to mimic and replicate the German six powers. I want to see what made Queen such a big bad. Anyway, excellent chapter. Super stoked. And if this is the end for Sanji, cannot wait for the Zoro fight, because Sanji just had his big power up into his finishing sequence. And so we left off with Zoro kind of getting that power up, but not getting to see it yet. So I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping the next chapter is Zoro. We could get Rick rolled and go back to either, I don't know. I don't think Big Mom, Law, and Kid make sense. They were kind of injured. We could go back to the rooftop, but I would like there to be an order to things. Oda usually does things order, and it would make sense to kind of go back to Zoro, have Zoro do his finishing moves and touches, maybe learn more about the Lunarians, and then finally get to Luffy. But great chapter overall. Super excited. Sanji fans, let me know in the comments how you feel. How hype are you? How did you feel about Queen being able to use all the German 6/6 abilities? How do you feel about Sanji moving forward? Are some of you still disappointed with the fact that he is now an enhanced human, and that like his feats might not be earned anymore, might not be his anymore? He's not just a regular human. How does that affect you? How do you feel about Momo trying to hold up Onigashima? And yeah, let's just leave it there for now. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Would mean the world to me. Join my League of Otaku, guys. Anyway, I'm going to do what I did with Luffy when Luffy got on a new level. I'm not going to use the new level song again. I'm going to use something a little bit different this time. I think you guys will still like it. So enjoy this crappy montage until I learn how to do effects better of Queen getting the ever-living hell kicked out of him by my boy, Sanji. Take care. Bye. This has been Otaku Talk. I'm your host. Have a great Friday.
on turn. At the party, float on pussy boy, and you get burnt. Acting up, you acting buck, you fuck while you get murdered. Nigga bitches, I get it. Sauce bitch, I'm with it. I get it. Shots at your fitted. I did it. Yo, I did it. Yo, I did it. Niggas asking where I get my drip back. Told the niggas throw it back, pack, nigga, back. Asking for the money, what you back say? If you ain't my brother, throw the fuck, nigga, hustle that. Cartier, crochet. Asian bitch, really like crochet. Emirates, never like crochet. Came to the crib, off the Kool-Aid. Ayy.